It's in time for What's Hot, where we talk about the stories that have everybody talking.
And we're joined by John and Willow with Milwaukee social media, plus Jeff Wagner is back. Well, Milwaukee city leaders say move out and lose your raise. Leaders passed a measure that will take away raises for workers who don't live in the city. It's in response to a new state law that does away with the residency rule, I should say. Governor Walker is expected to sign it.
We talked about the possibility that they were going to find another way to hold people accountable here. Jeff.
Well, first of all, I don't think this has a chance of standing up in court. I mean, this strikes me as being incredibly illegal, violation of the Commerce Clause. I'm hoping some employee challenges it. I think the mayor and the Common Council would be so much better served if they would try to figure out ways to make the city of Milwaukee attractive so that the public employees wouldn't want to flee, as opposed to trying to find ways to penalize them if, heaven forbid, they want to move to Wauwatosa.
You know, that's interesting that you even couch it in those terms, and I'm not being adversarial here when I say that it's become so politicized and so polarized that we assume that people who want to live in the suburbs want to live there because Milwaukee is a bad place. And I think some people just prefer the housing stock, the amenities, whatever, in a different area. I don't think it's as political as that. But from a legal standpoint, Jeff, I had a question for you. If they were to have incentivized it as instead as you get a credit or a reward for living within the city limits, would that have more of a legal chance of standing up?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to pretend to be a legal expert on this whole issue. I think, yeah, because I mean, you look at places like Detroit. Now, that's a bad example to give, but you know, they would give incentives to like public employees who would come in and who would occupy houses, for example, that had been abandoned. So there might be ways you can do it. I think there's going to be a legal challenge. I know some communities do it, but I guess that I just think it's fundamentally wrong. You can agree or disagree about the residency rule, but now that the law is that the residency rule can't be enforced, I guess I just think it's fundamentally wrong and more than a little vindictive to say to an employee who now decides that they want to move to Wauwatosa or whatever, we're going to penalize you by not giving you the same raise as somebody else who's doing the same job.
All right,
you know, West Dallas does it too. I just wanted to say there are other communities right in the area, including West Dallas, who have the residency requirements as well. It's just not as much of a hot button topic.
All right, we are now officially out of time for topic number one. Coming up next,
It's time for more of What's Hot.
Again, we are joined by social media's own John and Willow and the radio's own Jeff Wagner. There is a dirty downside, it turns out, to those front-loading washing machines. We found out that consumers filed lawsuits against almost every manufacturer claiming the washers are susceptible to mold and mildew. Manufacturers say customers are just not following proper care instructions. You know, they do sell these special cleaning agents that you're recommended to use from time to time in these washers to keep them smelling fresh.
Well, and also, just like with your regular washer, if you use OxyClean or bleach or anything else, that'll go a long way too. The thing about these is they are billed as high-efficiency washers. Just like when you buy a hybrid car for the size and feature set, you pay more. And you maintain it a little bit differently. It's never been a secret. The idea that people would file lawsuits because they're irritated at having to wipe out their washers is ridiculous to me. I can't even believe it.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of now. I have one of the old-fashioned, you know, like top-loading things. I'm very happy with that.
I thought you had a washboard.
Yeah, well, that's no.
I thought he sent his laundry out. Actually,
well, the shirts, yes, but everything. I actually do my own laundry. Believe that or not.
Ooh.
Seriously,
Getting to know Jeff
I'm that guy.
Secrets
Absolutely.
revealed.
But it's in the washing machine. It's in the top-loading thing. I've never had a desire for those front loaders. I'll pay a little more electricity. I like my top loader.
John, I think the whole thing comes down to people just go, I got to do one more extra step. And you were right. You know, it is in the manual, but it's like, oh.
Yeah, but to sue over that, to sue over an I got to take a washcloth to this thing, I just think that's insane. That's just crazy to me. Be responsible. You don't want to take care of it, don't get it. It's like a kid or anything else.
Read the book. Yeah, or a pet. Read the book, you know.
Right.
Read the book.
RTFM.
Read the manual, right?
That's right.
We're not going to tell you what that means.
F stands for fine.
All right, thank you both. Because